broke. It's tough.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hustlin' Horsepower. Today we're in the shop making up some jigs to index the car that we put up on the lift in the last video. Make sure to like and subscribe and watch this thing to come together.
So guys, just got back up from picking up some metal, but unfortunately Corona's making it really difficult to get some stuff here in New York, some material. Trying and holding up the build a little bit. Although we've made some pretty decent progress in 7 days or whatever we're into it right now. I can't find some of the tubing I need to make, instead of making a chassis jig, I wanted to use the lift as more like a chassis table. So I can index the rear end, I could set pinion height, I could set all that stuff. Then I'll set it up with probably with some hose clamps and stuff like that. So I can set the rear end at the right height, so I can index the brackets and all that stuff. But we're making do. I have some 6" by 6" square tubing that I had laying around. I think it's 3/16 inch thick. I'll split that into 4 sections, kind of like an apple slicer, and it'll give us 4 pieces of 3x3 for our little lips. So we're gonna do the lips 39.5 inches wide. Then we'll put 2 3/16 pieces on the outside. It'll give us a little less than an 1/8 inch or so slop in between. They'll be a foot long, so I'll be able to index it, and with it all, the chassis setup, I'll actually be able to slide the whole chassis forward and backward on the lift, and everything should stay indexed if it works out as planned. I haven't done this before, but hey, I guess a lot of things we do, they're kind of one-off type deals. But as long as you think it through and you're able to adapt, you can make a lot of stuff work. You don't necessarily need to have the nicest chassis table, but I'd prefer to be building this car on a 100% laser leveled table, of course. But this is what we got, this is what we could afford, and probably take an extra 10 or 15 hours, 20 hours throughout the build to make sure everything's indexed. But you can make it happen, and you can do it for a lot less money than having it. I mean, we're not a production company here. We'll build a couple cars here and there, but so it'll work just fine. So I'm gonna get this all set up, get the plasma going, get out my clamps to index the tube so we can make a nice straight line. Get my junk helmet out so the sparks don't ruin my nice TIG helmet, and we'll get after it. Time to set up our little mobile fabrication table here. I got the cart, it works good, but I use this for a lot of stuff. 1/8 inch plate. A little on the thin side. I prefer like 3/16 or 1/4 inch, but it works.
Hey guys, here you'll see me marking up the tubing. I guess just enjoy the music or something like that. I'll explain it here shortly, a little more in depth, but until then, wait until your party is reached.
See, I want to go backwards here versus going forward. This isn't overly accurate, it doesn't have to be. But just kind of like the deviation from the center. So this one was the first mark here. This mark was the first mark here. So I made the second mark on that side. I brought it back to the first mark this side. And I'll just keep our deviation from multiple lines. Margin of error, deviation, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'll keep it a little bit more in check. Now on the back side here, I'll just connect these 2 lines. Kind of how well you can see. I'm not good at this whole filming thing yet. I don't know if I'll be good at it, but hey. So this is 6 inches. This is 6 inches here. Three.
3. Hey guys, you know how I've said in previous videos you slow me down a little bit? Well, this video stuff sure is challenging. It's taken quite a bit to be able to figure this out, but we're slowly making progress. Here's a video of me working at half speed when I don't have to talk to y'all. It's kind of nice being able to focus on work. Unfortunately, there's no music in the shop when we're doing this stuff, but hey, we're making progress, and I hope you guys are learning something from these videos. Make sure to comment any questions you have or so on and so forth. Send us a private message and I'll get back to you guys.
The right ground on that. So see, I just go and mark my lines. Then I guess we could put you up here, maybe.
Hey guys, here we are going through the same process as making the other pieces that we just cut out. I'm using this 1/4 inch thick by approximately 2 inch wide by, I don't know, something like 2 foot long piece of solid square stock here as a reference or guide for the plasma cutter. Now this just makes my lines 100% dead accurate. Now, I've been using this setup for quite a while, so I know it's about a 1/2 inch offset from the guide to where the actual nozzle is for the plasma cutter. So I can run through here and I can knock these out pretty damn quickly and pretty damn accurately without measuring everything. But you'll see, you'll get along as you go along and do this stuff more and more. You come figure out tricks, you figure out different processes to make your job a little bit easier or make yourself a little more efficient. But hey, we all start somewhere. We all started not knowing much of anything. So this is a nice little plasma cutter that I use. I've used it for quite a few things. It's quite a bit larger than the one I was originally going to buy, simply because I lined up a couple side jobs that were going to help offset the price versus the smaller plasma. So this one will cut pretty thick metal here, but it's been handy. Well guys, I'm sure you're wondering, why the hell is he beating these pieces of metal with a hammer? Well guys, to be honest with you, I'm making my job a whole lot easier on me and a whole lot cheaper on grinding discs. By knocking off the slag here, it's a very simple process, doesn't take long at all, and it really saves a lot of time when you go to grind and smooth off your edges.
Whee! Fucker broke. Top. Son of a bitch.
I can't lie, that one got me pretty good. During the midsummer when this was filmed, I had the opportunity to drive a few other race cars, but as you can see, my grip strength just wasn't back to normal yet, so I guess it was best to pass on those opportunities.
First, I'm picking up some tools that I just dropped. So we're gonna work on making ourselves up a little jig to hold up the drop axle. Not 110% sure how I'm gonna go about it. But I got an idea. We're gonna have to do some little stublets because I'm gonna have to have a jig for the wishbone and stuff like that. But I don't know. We're just gonna start with something. We're gonna figure it out. I think we'll run 2 runners. Then we'll do a cross brace. I'll probably have 2 little spacers. Kind of like how I made up this this rear jig to hold up the rear end. So we're gonna start on something similar to that.
I think we'll be fine. For those of you that skip around the videos, here's a example of what we did earlier in the video. Now this is square tubing, so it's a little bit different, but it's pretty similar. You'll see that I mark my top mark first, and then I rotate 90 degrees opposite of that. Then I rotate it back 90 degrees opposite from the start point. This keeps your deviation or your change from your target line to a minimum. If you rotated it and just kept on making your line in one direction, there's a chance you'll be off on the backside cut, the opposite side from where you started from. Now when you go and pull out the saw, you can have 100% certainty that your line is going to be square. Now, when you're using the saw, especially like a portable bandsaw like this that we borrowed from Maddy's dad, you're able to line it up pretty dang well, and you're able to put a slight tension or a slight change in your lines to keep it nice and square. Now you can't be bending the thing 30 degrees this way or 30 degrees that way, but you can alter it slightly to keep the bend or keep your line nice and straight. Alrighty guys, time to flip the breaker on the welder. I think we're gonna get to work. I don't know where. Looks like we're working on the floor some more. That's okay. I'm used to working on the floor. Set this up. Well guys, here, unfortunately I'm working on the floor, but sometimes that's all I got to work with. So, as you can see, I put these two pieces of tubing up against some of my chromoly round tubing that I have laying on the floor to do the roll cage. This just simply acts as a fence or a backdrop to make sure that the tubes can't slide, just to try to keep everything in square. Now, it's just work right here at this point, just marking centers. So I guess we go double check this before we go and weld this. Put a couple tack welds on there. Oh man. We're gonna get there eventually, folks. I promise you that. Kind of sloppy. I don't like it. We're gonna open it up a little bit. coming up in a future video, a few buddies and my little shop helper stopped by, and we get into tearing down the Dirty 30. It wasn't the easiest thing to do to open up that trailer door and get to work, but hey, we got big things on the horizon, and I gotta salvage anything and everything I can off the old girl.